What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be looking at some defensemen that the Maple Leafs could be going after, as they are unrestricted free agents, and at the time of recording this there is no contract or anything in agreement for extensions for these players. So let's hope they hit the open market once July comes around. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Liking or subscribing definitely helps, or disliking if you don't like the video. That's completely up to you. But we all know that the Maple Leafs need to address the blue line, and specifically I'd love to see them acquire some right-handed shot defensemen. And the Leafs have a little bit of money to mess around with this offseason. They don't have a lot of LTIR money. Actually, I believe there should be none now that Matt Murray and Jake Muzzin and Klingberg, all these guys are off the books. They've got some money to play around with. They've got some guys that they can move around. And it's going to make for an interesting offseason, especially if they move on from a Tavares or a Marner, or maybe both. I have no idea. But I want you guys to sound off in the comments as well who you guys think the Leafs should be after, who you think they're going to acquire. But let's look at some names. And Sportsnet's Luke Fox posted an article talking about who he believes the Leafs could be interested in, or some of the free agent defensemen that will be out there. And I took a few of the names that I really think the Leafs should be after. And the first one's kind of a funny one, because there's a comment on one of the most recent videos where somebody said the Leafs should get Brandon Montour. And of course, I was being salty saying, yeah, well, Riley's better than Montour, blah, blah, blah. I was being so salty after the Leafs lost. But let me tell you, go back and look at videos in the past. I really like Brandon Montour, and I think that he would be a welcome addition to this Maple Leafs team. Obviously, he's still playing right now. The Panthers are a fantastic hockey team, so they're still going. This guy would be unbelievable for the Leafs to pick up. He's 30 years old, of course. He's a right shot defenseman. Let's look at his contract history here. You can see he's finishing up a $3.5 million deal. He's going to be getting a significant raise. He's been able to put up a lot of points in the playoffs. He's also putting up numbers, but he's a physical guy as well. He can throw his body around. He's not afraid to get a little scrappy. He plays a good overall game, but he's also a puck-moving defenseman, and the Maple Leafs have relied on just Morgan Riley to be a puck mover for this team. And, they were hoping Liljegren would keep taking steps up, but I do believe Liljegren will more than likely be a bottom pairing guy. If they're able to get a couple right-handed shots, maybe he doesn't stick around on this team. But the Leafs have predominantly been heavily focused on left-handed shot guys, and going into this offseason, they're probably going to have Morgan Riley still on this team, Benoit still on this team, and McCabe. So that left side is going to be pretty clogged up. So let's go out there and get some right-handed shots. And again, Brandon Montour, he's going to get a lot of money. And depending on how far the Panthers go, they've been very vocal about wanting to keep their core guys together. And Montour is a huge part of their team. So they're going to probably do everything they can to keep this guy around. This is why I believe he would be a great option. But unless a team really wows him with money, I can't see why he would want to leave such a good place to play like the Panthers. They play a really good team unit base game, and they play really well defensively. So he might want to stick around, but if he gets to free agency, he's a guy that I hope the Leafs are definitely interested in. Now, another name out there that's also pretty interesting is Dylan DeMelo from the Winnipeg Jets. Now, of course, they're out of the playoffs right now. He's 31 years old. He's a guy I'm sure the Leafs will be after. They've inquired on him via trade before. He's also just finishing up a $3 million deal. But DeMelo also can put up some decent points. He's a guy that can give you a little bit of offense. But again, he plays really sound defensively. Winnipeg is a really strong defensive team. And again, these guys are guys that I believe their original teams are going to want to keep around. But if they do end up testing free agency, it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of talks with these guys. The Leafs should be all over this guy. He'll demand a raise as well. He's probably going to get in the 5 to 6 range pretty easily, I would imagine. But defensively sound, right-handed shot, physical, can do a little bit of everything. this is another guy that it just makes too much sense. They need to at least inquire on this guy if he gets to free agency, because if you look at the way the Leafs have structured their team and the amount of money that they could have this offseason, there's another guy I'm going to mention here soon right after DeMelo, but they could potentially get two of these guys if they're smart with their money in the offseason, if they're able to move off of a couple contracts at the bottom of their lineup that they feel don't provide as much good offense. Like maybe they can move on from a David Kampf and they bury a Ryan Reeves going into next season, or they trade Mitch Marner, they trade John Tavares, and they're able to free up some money there. They can acquire a couple of these guys for their blue line, and it instantly makes them significantly better. So again, a guy like DeMelo, a guy like Montour would be like, they would welcome this with open arms. And another guy that's really interesting is Brett Pesce. Now, the thing about Brett Pesce is there's been a lot of talks about him wanting to go back and stay here. So he wants to work something out with Carolina, and this is coming from the Hockey News. He's been with this team for a long time now. He's had some injury trouble. He's even willing to take a team-friendly deal to stay in Carolina. So it's looking more like he would want to stick around, although there's been reports saying that, Martin Necas and Pesce might not get offers from Carolina to stick around. They might be worried about the injury trouble for Brett Pesce, but I think the Leafs have to be a team that's interested, and it seems like if he does get the free agency, there's already been reports out there, and I do believe it was Luke Fox as well, saying that the Maple Leafs will be one of the teams lining up for Brett Pesce. Now, he's only 29 years old. Again, the injury trouble is something that they have to look at, but he was on a $4 million deal, and he's definitely getting a raise, especially if he gets to free agency. Now, if you look at his career, he's been a guy that can put up numbers, but he does miss some games. He played a full 82 last year. He played 70 this year. But again, look at the playoffs, right? Like, he got injured again in the playoffs. He's had injury trouble in the past. He had a few injuries this year that were a little nagging. Missing 12 games isn't the biggest deal, especially the way that he plays, because he'll block shots. He will be physical, but he also is a pretty damn good puck mover as well. So another guy that can do a little bit of everything. The Leafs should be really excited if this guy gets to free agency, and should be a team that puts an offer out there. So I really like any of these options, and there is more options towards maybe the bottom of the free agency pool. But could you imagine if the Leafs could land two of these guys? If you spend $10 million or $11 or $12 million on two of these guys, and then, if they're able to move off of another contract, that still leaves the Leafs money to address their forward group in other areas. And I do intend to do what I did last offseason, where I built mini Leafs teams based off of what I liked in free agency and via trade, to see if I could make a team that looked really good. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that. So if that's something you're interested in, sound off in the comments. But I want to know what you guys think about Montour, about DeMelo, about Pesce. Telling me which guys, rank them in order of how you would want them, like which guys you would want. I always like hearing from you guys. I know maybe we'll disagree on a hockey take here, but I don't take it personal. So if you attack me personally, then sure, I'm going to take it personally. But if you have a different hockey take than me, let's have a conversation. Let's be cool about it. I see people arguing in the comments and saying nasty stuff. Let's just have a hockey conversation. Let's be cool, because man, we're all here for the same reason. We love the Maple Leafs. So let me know what you guys think. Tell me if you guys would like any of these guys, if you think we should get two of them. I don't think we could get three of them. It would have to be some pretty damn good work from us to be able to get all three of them. And if you got all three of these guys, you'd be a friggin' Stanley Cup favorite. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. We've got the head coach locked in. We know who's going to be the GM. We know who's our president. Now we need to make some work. Obviously, these guys won't be available until free agency, but tell me if you guys think there's some trade options out there for the blue line or in goal, whatever you guys want to see. I'm going to be making tons of videos. So if you guys are new here, like I said, like and subscribe, join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. And go Leafs go. Let's go out there and let's get some players this offseason. Let's get some guys that are going to make this team better. Sound off in the comments. Like, subscribe, join the squad. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.